CBS Sports, specifically Isaac Trotter, put an article out yesterday that is an awesome read. Everybody should go read it, but ranking the Big Ten basketball teams by tiers. He calls it an ultra deep conference and goes team by team, basically throwing them into five different tiers and explaining why he's slotted them in where he has. Quickly, before we do our version of this, are we allowed to call Isaac Trotter a friend of the program after you shared a pickup basketball game with him this year?
Yeah, Isaac Trotter is a friend of the program. Him and I hoop together. By the way, Isaac Trotter can go, can absolutely go. Wisconsin archetype wing, I'd say. A little bit of shooting, underrated athlete, kid you want to take home to mom and dad. I think if you have a daughter, that type of first in, last guy out guy.
Yeah, I've been calling him Izzy Tiddler.
I'm sorry, who?
Izzy Tiddler?
Like in regards to Frankie Fiddler?
Yeah, I think he's like media Frankie Fiddler.
Disrespectful. He's Sam Decker.
Okay, yeah, similar archetype. Anyway,
How?
so just saying.
The similar
Uh,
archetype is crazy.
Similar archetype. Okay, so before people yell at us for this, we're not going to do our actual tier maker on this. Shut up. Stop yelling at us about this. When we do the tier makers, people still yell at us that we're doing it wrong. So I'm sick of your shit, chat. We're just going to talk through this.
Whoa.
Isaac himself, I like the way he did this. He split this up into five tiers. Here are his tiers: title contenders, which he defines as pretty cut and dry. I think these teams have the upside to win the national championship. Tier two, top 25 caliber club. These teams have plenty of talent, should be safely in the field, but they have a few flaws that prevent them from winning a national championship. Tier three, a tournament team. Teams have good rosters, could flirt with top 25, but let's be honest, they're not serious threats. Tier four is bubble, or as he calls it, bubblicious. And tier five is the basement teams that have a slim chance of making the dance. I propose that we use his tiers and then we just slot our teams in where we'd like. We will probably have some differences from him. Do you agree to these terms?
I mean, I'm going to agree to any tier exercise where Bubblicious is incorporated.
Yeah, of course. So again, go read Isaac's full article here. We're not going to reveal where he put the teams. He's the expert here. If you want his expert analysis, you can read that on cbssports.com. We're just going to do our version. So, tier one, national championship contenders, teams that have a legitimate reason to believe they could win a national championship this season. Obviously, Purdue belongs here. Isaac had more teams than just Purdue. Spoiler alert. Are we going to put anybody but Purdue in this tier?
I think Purdue has earned the right to be in this tier by themselves. But I would listen to maybe one other team.
So if we're playing the game that is, let's use Isaac's tiers, here's my counterpoint. Purdue obviously belongs there, but whether or not other teams belong there has nothing to do with Purdue. Like, I don't think we can be like, Purdue deserves to be in their own tier. Whether or not there are other teams in the could win a national championship tier comes down to if we believe that those teams could or not. Has nothing to
Mhm.
do with Purdue. If we were going to tier this, you and I know we would do it differently. We would put Purdue as like the favorite by themselves, and then maybe other teams that could exceed it. But if we're using Isaac's tiers, just teams that close your eyes, could they win a national championship this year somehow? I think he's right. I think there's at least one other team, maybe two other teams that you have to put here.
Okay. I mean, given his how he contextualized it too, he said these teams have the upside to win the title. So it's basically you're buying what their ceiling looks like, I'm guessing, correct?
Yep. I think that's the right angle here. So again, he has just one other team than Purdue here. I'll let your imaginations run wild, listeners. I would argue there's two that I think could win a national title that are not Purdue.
One of them, Michigan.
I might argue there's three now that I think about it.
Okay, so one's Michigan. I think we
One is
need to
Michigan. Michigan is the safe second. Could they do this? Yes. The path for Michigan is Yaxel is the national player of the year. Kaysen takes a jump. McKenny's an All-American, freshman All-American, and they're just nasty. Like that's firmly within possibility.
Okay, so the other two teams though.
I got two I'm looking at.
For
And
me, if I'm picking,
you can decide if you want them or not, but I got two that I'd propose.
is Illinois one of them?
Illinois is one of them.
I agree with that.
We're just talking ultimate ceiling, everything hits. I don't even like it. I think Illinois is overrated at 17. I said that in another video today. But like if the ceiling hits, you're telling me a Big T, Petro, Boswell, Stojakovic core couldn't win one?
I can see that. So my fourth, don't know if I'd want to put them there, but I'm looking absolute ceiling. It would be UCLA.
That's my other one. I would have flipped it. I would have had UCLA as the third name, Illinois as the fourth, but
Yeah, I'm ceiling Donovan Dent is special, and the rest of the roster is actually good. And yeah, Mick Cronin's a good coach. So like, yeah,
yeah, same thing. Den is just the first team All American guard. Like
yeah,
it's a
yep.
firm possibility. So, okay, do we want to lock those four in? Our tier one, what did he call it? The literally the national title contenders?
National title contenders.
Title contenders, national championship contenders. We want to put Purdue, Michigan, UCLA, and Illinois in this tier.
Yes.
Lock it in. Okay, tier two, top 25 caliber club. Team that is safely in the tournament, very good in the polls all season long, but doesn't have a realistic hope of winning the national championship. Who would you like to put in this tier?
I'd start with Wisconsin. I think I'd put in there. I would put Michigan State in this one as well. And then I think the uh, to be honest with you, I think I would go Oregon and Maryland in this one.
Ooh, I would stop before Maryland. But I like Wisconsin. Let's lock Wisconsin in. Guards got a high floor. Blackwell is great. They're going to be good. I think Izzo, you could argue Michigan State should be one lower, like a tournament team, but not a top 25 team. But
Hmm.
I'm fine with putting Izzo in, just thinking they'll be a top 25 team because of him.
Yeah.
Oregon to me, Shellstat and Biddle and Altman, they were a top 25 team for parts of last season. I think they belong.
Okay. So, hmm,
But I'd stop there. I don't think any other team is like a in the poll all season long team.
you're not a Maryland guy?
Got a long way to go, man. Miles Rice
Yeah.
is their best guard. I'm buying them, but
Yeah.
not as a in the poll all season long team.
I'm fine with stopping after Oregon.
All right, so we've put seven teams in, four as national title contenders, three as top 25, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Oregon. Into tier three here, which Isaac defines as NCAA tournament teams. Teams that we think will be safely in the tournament field, but likely outside of the top 25 all year, maybe like a 7 to 10 seed in the field.
Okay. I would put, and I'm just naming teams here. We can order them if we want to. I would put Iowa in this tier. I would, where are we at with Ohio State?
I think Ohio State is the team whose roster most deserves to be there. But here's my problem. I think everybody we haven't named is a bubble team at best and not firmly in the field. Like you're telling me Ben McCollum and Bennett Sturts is guaranteed to make the NCAA tournament?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
eh.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I mean, it's not just Bennett Sturts though.
Brendan
Yeah,
Housen get you going?
he can really shoot it.
I think they're being a little overrated right now. It's a little cutesy for me, but
I'm a big guy. All right, so what would you have in this category?
I don't know that I'd put anybody in here right now.
We just leave this tier empty.
Well, I think we put a lot of the teams that Isaac had in this tier and tiers ahead of this, like we're higher on them. So the distinction between like I don't know, you could argue like USC, but after what Muss did last year, I don't think they're guaranteed to be a tournament team. All these teams with new coaches, we don't know what they're going to be.
What
Indiana
about
and Iowa, like
what about Washington with their roster?
you can't say they're more than a bubble team. To me, the only two that I would buy if you really want in here are Ohio State and Maryland. I would buy that just Buzz Williams is good enough and that formula has a high floor. And Ohio State's roster is way too good to be a bubble team, but it's Jake Diebler.
What is Jake Diebler? I'm fine with that in this tier.
Do you
Let's go
want
to
to put Ohio State and Maryland?
I actually just want to put Ohio State. Can you talk to me on the rest of Maryland's roster?
I mean, I the only reason I was floating them was because you floated them for the tier above this. But
Yeah, but once you put me down on it, I started like really thinking about it truthfully in my heart of hearts. I'm like,
okay. So in that case, well, no, I can sell you on it quickly, actually. Darius Adams and Raquise Passmore might both be really good.
forgot they got Passmore.
They got two basically five-star types that could live up to it with Miles Rice and Pharrell Payne in like roles that make sense for them in a good system.
I like that. So Maryland, Ohio State in this tier.
Maryland and Ohio State as tournament teams, but not top 25 teams. Okay.
Yeah, but
So that
guaranteed tournament teams.
we just put 9 teams into the NCAA tournament field. Now we have bubble teams. This is where I'd put basically all the new coaches, I think. So Indiana, Iowa. I'm okay with Washington here if you
Mm-hmm.
want,
USC.
and USC.
What do we think about Northwestern?
I'll put Northwestern there too.
Martinelli
Martinelli
back.
back, yeah.
Wyndham back. Chris Collins.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Do you want no chance you want like Nico Medved, Minnesota year one there?
Not year one, no.
Okay. So then that takes us to the basement, teams that don't have any hope here. And we're putting Minnesota, Nebraska, Penn State, Rutgers.
Sounds about right.
We feel good about our performance in this exercise?
I do. I just know that Golden Gophers, that Twitter page is gonna be like, "Where you guys go again, putting us in the last tier."
Oh man, I can't believe. Let me pull up their roster and make sure that I have the name of their best player right. Who is it this year?
Yeah, K Tyson.
Sorry. Can't believe we wouldn't buy a team led by Bobby Durkin and Langston Reynolds.
Who?
It's not great. It's not
It's
great.
not. It's
It's
not.
not
Not.
great. We did a good job on this, I think.
We did.
And I get to call myself a national title contender now.
Yeah. Call me Carter Trotter.
Feels good.